intelligence report on 9/11. So here are the real enemies of the United States. And we're told by idiots like John McCain that they are our allies. I'm afraid not, because on September 11th, the leading Eastern Christian patriarchs met with President Obama in the White House and told him there was no such thing as Syrian moderate rebels, that his support for the Syrian opposition had led and would lead to deaths amongst Syrian Christians and other minorities. And the same group was then spoken to by Ted Cruz, who's a Christian Zionist. And by the way, many Christians and even Islamic people well-versed in the New Testament told me in Tehran that the idea of Christian Zionism is a heresy to Christian religion. It's a heresy to the teachings of Jesus and what is in the New Testament, and there's no place in Christianity. You can't be a Zionist and a Christian at the same time. So I have news for people like Ted Cruz. He better make a decision on what he wants to be. He can't be both. And I would even suggest he can't be president. He was born in Canada. So his rhetoric is not helpful to this debate we see about what's going on in the Middle East right now.
We have a story here out of BBC News. Turkey allows Syria rebel training. Turkey has agreed to allow moderate Syrian rebels to be trained on its soil, the US says, in its bid to combat the Islamic State in Syria and Iraq. We've also got Saudi Arabia training those so-called moderate rebels. We've got the United States sending them more money, more arms, and yet we know that these arms, in many cases, fell directly into the hands of ISIS. And in fact, those so-called moderate rebels defected to and joined up with ISIS and gave them those arms that they had received from the likes of Jordan, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, in addition to Turkey. So, Wayne, I mean, to what extent is the US policy in Syria of destabilizing the Assad regime responsible for the growth of ISIS?
Absolutely connected to the growth of ISIL or ISIS, or as the Arabs call it, Daesh. This group, first of all, we know that McCain, with this fake PhD, Elizabeth O'Baghy, went into Syria last year and met with al-Baghdadi, the head of ISIS. Their picture was taken with him. And they've tried to dance around this issue. But these ISIL guys are basically paid for by the Qataris and the Saudis. As a matter of fact, this coalition of Obama is a joke, because we're told that Saudi and Emirati and Qatari and Bahraini pilots are flying missions against this group in Iraq and Syria, when in fact I was told by a Syrian who was in Tehran with me that huge packages of cash have arrived in ISIL hands in Aleppo in Syria, complete with the Saudi and Qatari bank stamps on the wrappers around the cash. So this has to be the first time that we've seen a military attack groups that they're also financing. Their home governments are financing. The whole thing's a ruse. I'm afraid that the U.S. is not attacking ISIL positions. It's attacking Syrian military positions, Assad positions. For example, the U.S. claims it attacked the city of Raqqa in eastern Syria. It was 2 days after ISIL forces left the city. So we see this time. The U.S. also attacked a Syrian Air Force base that had not been taken over by ISIL. It was in the hands of the Syrian Air Force. I would suggest that either Obama is lying to the American people, or his own military and intelligence services are not telling him what's going on the ground over there. Perhaps he should send private emissaries over there. As I was in Tehran, he should send people to Damascus and to Tehran and to Beirut and find out himself what's going on over there. Those Eastern Christian patriarchs certainly told him, and he seemed surprised when they said, oh, there's no such thing as Syrian moderate rebels. He seemed surprised at that. And this guy's supposed to be intelligent, and he's surprised by that. I'm surprised that he's surprised.
We'll be back with Wayne Madsen after the break. We're going to get into the beheading videos, which of course have aroused suspicion. They've served as a perfect propaganda tool for airstrikes on ISIS, and yet We're told they're being produced by ISIS militants. Also going to go to your calls for Wayne Madsen on ISIS, Ebola and more. It's the Alex Jones Show live, Infowars.com. Stay right there.
My Magic Mud is a tooth whitening powder that removes plaque and detoxifies your mouth. It's safe for your enamel, giving you a beautiful polish and a dentist-like clean after every use. My Magic Mud is also the perfect remedy for pain caused by sensitivity. It strengthens your teeth and gums for a strong, healthy smile. The ingredients are 100% natural and it's safe for children. Simply brush with My Magic Mud right before bedtime for a cleaning you can count on. Visit mymagicmud.com.
Digestive health is key to wellness, and Pro-EM1 is the key to digestive health. Pro-EM1 is a daily liquid probiotic that improves food absorption and supports weight loss by removing toxins from your system. Recommended by doctors, Pro-EM1 is 100% natural, organic, non-GMO, wheat, soy, gluten, and dairy-free. Call us today at 888-611-8025 or visit ProEM1.com to save over $25 on your order. That's 888-611-8025 or PROEM1.com.
If you have candida overgrowth, just taking antifungal agents or starving yourself of sweets does not address the cause. Candida overgrowth is the result of a toxic, damaged, acidic, low oxygen, and inflamed tissue environment. The goal should be to remove the toxins, heal damaged tissues, restore healthy pH, eliminate inflammation, and feed beneficial bacteria. Previous usage of antibiotics or steroids or exposure to mercury or other toxins can damage many cells in the GI tract and body that make you prone to candida overgrowth. Removing toxins and healing tissues should be the goal. One World Whey is a whey protein food that supports detoxification, repair of tissues, and elimination of inflammation, healthy pH, and growth of beneficial bacteria. One World Whey is duly reformulated to be higher in protein and lower in carbohydrate. We believe One World Whey is an excellent food to support your efforts to create a healthy internal body environment. Call 888-988-3325 or visit oneworldwhey.com. That's oneworld.com.
Hi folks, Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his two-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine, taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Ira Hayes, call him drunken Ira Hayes, he will answer any more.
We're back live on the Alex Jones Show. We're talking to Wayne Madsen, investigative journalist and NSA whistleblower. Talking about ISIS, here we have a story out of Infowars.com, Kurt Nimmo. ISIS now capable of downing airliners at Baghdad airport. The US Embassy in Baghdad may soon fall prey to ISIS. They have the area surrounded, and they're armed with anti-aircraft missiles thanks to our friends, the Saudi Arabians. Once again, we're going to get into Saudi Arabia's alliance with Israel, according to Wayne Madsen, coming up later in the show. But I just wanted to ask Wayne about these beheading videos. We had another hostage video supposedly produced by ISIS yesterday of the British journalist John Cantley. Wayne, you know, given that these videos, they only seem to bolster the case for US military expansion in the region. They bolster the case for airstrikes targeting ISIS. Very emotional propaganda. Again, a lot of questions have been asked about these videos. Should we be suspicious as to their origin, given previous examples of so-called Al-Qaeda videos, which lead back to the Pentagon?
Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, it seems like these videos are quote-unquote discovered by an organization in Washington that I've been looking at for a number of years called the Search for International Terrorist Entities, or SITE. It's actually run by an Israeli-Iraqi-American named Rita Katz. And listen, they were the ones who discovered a lot of these fake bin Laden videos, and now they're discovering these beheading videos. I'm not suggesting that these people who have been killed ostensibly by beheading are not dead, but I think it's somewhat questionable as to whether they actually were beheaded live. And the whole thing looks like a bad grade B movie, and I think there's been some video forensics people who have looked at these videos and determined that there's a lot of fakery involved with their production. But you know, after we saw the U.S. CIA compound stormed in Benghazi after the production of that trailer called The Innocence of Muslims, which was involved a lot of dodgy people in Los Angeles, including those in the porn industry. You have to wonder, where are these videos coming from? What is the intention? And are they what they are purported to be? I have serious doubts about whether these videos are in fact showing beheadings. Although I must say, I believe that those hostages are probably dead, unfortunately.
I mentioned Saudi Arabia earlier regarding their arming of ISIS with anti-aircraft missiles. You've got a new book out, The Star and the Sword, which alleges this alliance between Saudi Arabia and Israel, which was intimately involved in plotting the 9/11 attacks. So give us a rundown of some of that evidence and how this came to fruition regarding the connection to 9/11, Saudi Arabia and Israel.
Well, when I was actually on the trail of the perps behind 9/11, the one issue that came up is, you know, I was looking at the location of the 19 alleged hijackers. I was also looking at the location of about 120 Israeli art students. They weren't really art students. They were obviously intelligence officers and agents over here in the months leading up to 9/11. That they were identified in a Drug Enforcement Administration report as being involved in some sort of intelligence operation in the United States. I was looking at the fact that they and the 19 hijackers were living in the same locations in places like Hollywood, Florida, Irving, Texas, near Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, in North Jersey, very close to New York City, in places like Jersey City, for example, outside of Washington, D.C. and Laurel, Maryland, and other locations. And the problem was, was it the case where the Israelis were monitoring the hijackers? And if so, why didn't they inform us? Obviously, knowing the relationship, the close relationship between Saudi Arabia and Israel, when it has existed since after, it predates Israel itself. When the first modern Saudi king, Ibn Saud, sent a letter to Chaim Weizmann, the head of the World Zionist Organization, saying, look, we have no problem, we Sauds, with you establishing a homeland for the Jewish people and the British Mandate of Palestine. It starts from there, and obviously this was not a case where the Israelis were monitoring those hijackers. They were providing material support and cover for those.
We'll be back after the break with more from Wayne Madsen, taking your calls, Infowars.com. Keep it locked in.
We're on